Stardom Sit-em Week 17 DST Championship Week. Your boy's a little under the weather for Christmas, but I still have a responsibility to get your lineup set, ready to go. So let's get right into the episode. So first off, the Colts were a good play in those first three quarters until they stopped playing football after Jonathan Taylor's last touchdown, because the Titans came back and put up a chunk of points. And listen, I understand it might sound crazy putting them in the lineup again this week, but I like the upside this week because the Giants are just god awful. The Titans are better than the Giants, believe it or not. Even looking at that O-line, the Giants are probably one of the worst O-lines in the NFL right now. Top 5 in pressures and sacks allowed. They're allowing the most QB hits as well, so their quarterbacks, they're getting touched. So therefore, I like the upside this week where a nice floor of 10 plus points could be the nice job to get you to bring home the gold, with the Colts having that type of ability to take the ball away because they still picked them off 3 times. So they're still able to go out there to get some sacks and turn the ball over. So Indy, please don't let me down in the championship. I got here barely with those 6 points you gave me last week. So please, let's get right this week and help folks out for a nice 10 plus point fantasy championship week. Next up, the Miami Dolphins might still be out there for you, or you've been rocking with them these last couple of weeks because they have had one of the best pass rushers in the NFL in these last couple of weeks. Honestly, looking at this Miami Dolphins rostered in less than 50% of leagues, I might be one of those guys to go pick them up and slide them in against the Browns this week with DTR, or even if it's Jameis Winston. Turnovers. That's all we're looking for, the upside here. And like I said, one of the best pass rushers in the last couple of weeks. We know how bad and poor this Browns O-line is, and DTR still wet behind the ears trying to learn on the job. We saw what he put out there last week. I don't really think that Miami Dolphins will be much challenged here, so why not take the easy layup in the most important game of the season, which is the championship? So I see the Miami Dolphins coming through for a lot of fantasy folks. Next up, wow, the Dallas Cowboys have been one of the best DST options in fantasy. Listen, honestly, they've been turning up since week 5. They've led the NFL in sacks. The sack production's there. Obviously, the takeaways are there with this secondary showing up, stopping Baker Mayfield to getting a win in that fourth quarter drive. Now, honestly, the DST option, listen, ST, they have special teams upside as well. So I'm honestly looking at this as a fair play against the Eagles, who might be shutting Jalen Hurts down with a concussion. So Kenny Pickett might be in there getting the driver's seat, getting the keys to the offense, and honestly, his pocket awareness is terrible. We saw that last week with the Commanders. So honestly, I'm looking at this as a high upside game where you can get the sack production with the turnovers, and obviously with the special teams upside, with Turbin going crazy being the speedster that he is. Next up, I got my fade for week 17, the most important game of the season, the championship, and I honestly have to fade the Chargers. Highly rostered in leagues, and listen, I know people are still going out there and starting them, but man, in the last month and a half, they have been god-awful. They have not been that defense in the earlier the season. 26 points per game they've been allowing in the last month and a half. People, even the takeaways have taken the dip, the sacks have taken the dip, even though there might be upside this week against the Patriots, but that's still Drake May, who's able to get out of the pocket and extend the plays. And Drake May, honestly, he made some really good plays against the Bills. They actually had them very early in that game on their toes. But the Buffalo Bills, being who Josh Allen is, he was able to come back and get that W. But the Patriots still put up 21 points. And honestly, this might be one of those games with the Chargers at the DST option. Yeah, they might get some sacks, but you might be looking at only 4 to 7 points in the biggest game of the season. There's other options available out there on the waiver wire for you. Some in this video, some of those options are safe options like the Vikings, the Packers. You're obviously going to start these defenses. Don't try to get cute and try to think you're going to jump on Drake May, because he's been surprising folks every single week. So this wraps up another great episode of RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe. Leave your comments below on your start and sit questions, and I'll try to answer them all the way up until game time. And you guys can follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. Until next time.